rights, including temporary workers.
دقيقة واحدة تفرق كتير، والوقت دايما تحدي. في زمن قياسي مصر طورت منظومة النقل وأضافت وجددت 97 محطة سكة حديد، وطورت 335 مزلقان، 212 عربة قطار تم شرائها، وتم التعاقد على 1300 عربة قطار لدعم منظومة السكة الحديد، وتم توريد 24 قطار جديد مكيف لمترو الأنفاق. وفي مجال النقل البحري تم تطوير موانئ الغردقة وسفاجة لتتسع ل 2 مليون راكب سنوياً، وتطوير ميناء نويبع، وتم تعميق المجرى الملاحي لموانئ دمياط والإسكندرية لاستيعاب كل السفن العملاقة. مصر دايماً على الطريق الصحيح وهتوصل بسرعة. بلغ حجم استثمارات المشروعات خلال 6 سنوات حتى يونيو 2020 253 مليار جنيه. مصر، التحدي والإنجاز.
Welcome back, and on another note, and from a business perspective, this time Egypt signs a $3 billion loan deal with the Chinese commercial bank to build business zone in the new capital. Now, the housing minister Asem Al-Gassar and several Chinese banks have signed an agreement which is worth of $834 million in Beijing on Monday in order to establish a central business park at the new administrative capital. Here's the story.
Egypt signed a $3 billion loan deal with the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China to design and establish a central business zone in the new administrative capital. Minister of Housing Asem Al-Gassar, who attended the signing ceremony with representatives of the bank in China, said that Egypt would receive $834 million as the first tranche of the loan. Al-Gassar said that the first tranche will cover the expenses of designing and building 7 tall towers on a total area of 600,000 square meters. The central business zone would also see the establishment of 20 towers, including a 385-meter tall tower, which will be the tallest in Africa. The signing of the deal came as President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi concluded his 3-day trip to China to participate in the Build and Road Initiative Forum. China is among a number of countries who are funding projects in the new capital, which has seen its first phase completed. During his visit to China, President el-Sisi discussed economic and investment opportunities with Chinese officials and regional and international counterparts, with el-Sisi announcing a plan to make Egypt a regional digital center for the transfer of data between Asia, Africa, and Europe. In January, Egypt secured a $1.2 billion deal with the Export-Import Bank of China to finance an electric train that will run from one of the country's main industrial zones in the 10th of Ramadan city to the new administrative capital. In 2015, Egypt started construction on the new administrative capital, 45 kilometers east of Cairo, as part of the government's plan to reduce pressure on an overpopulated capital, expand urban area, and develop infrastructure of the nation. The new administrative capital, which is being built over 714 square kilometers by tens of thousands of workers, will be home to a government housing district, 29 ministries and other state institutions, including the cabinet and parliament buildings, and 20 residential neighborhoods that can accommodate 6.5 million people.
افتح عينيك على المستقبل، شوف عن قرب. أرض الفرص بتفتح أبوابها. استعد لبداية جديدة. مصر بتفتح أبواب الاستثمار بثقة كاملة في قدراتها بموقعها الجغرافي وبقوة بشرية وتعداد سكان 100 مليون، أكتر من نصهم شباب مستعد للعمل. مصر سوق مفتوح جاهز للاستثمار، جاهز للمستقبل ومجهز بأحدث تكنولوجيا عالمية وعقول مبدعة وطموحة، سوق عمل جاهز بمختلف الخبرات. مصر وفرت بيئة تشريعية وتنظيمية جاذبة للمستثمر تسهل عليه المهمة بمراكز خدمة خاصة للمستثمرين في كل المحافظات، جاهزة ومجهزة لإنهاء كل الإجراءات في مكان واحد. مصر وفرت بيئة تساند وتدعم صغار المستثمرين ورجال الأعمال في كافة المجالات، مالياً، إدارياً، قانونياً وتكنولوجياً بمبادرة فكرتك شركتك. بلغ إجمالي الاستثمارات خلال 6 سنوات حتى يونيو 2020 11 مليار و700 مليون جنيه. مصر، التحدي والإنجاز.
Yes, welcome back again. The IMF expects continuing growth of Egypt's exports. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, expects Egypt exports to remain on an upward track, projecting a boom in the country's tourism sector, alongside, of course, with the increase of natural gas discoveries. In a new report on its economic outlook for the Middle East region, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan, released on Monday, the IMF predicted that Egypt's current account deficit will decline by 2% of GDP by 2020. Moving on to the tourism sector, Mashat meets with the chairman of the Saudi Tourism Commission, and the tourism minister Rani al-Mashat did meet on Monday with Ahmed ibn Aqil al-Qatih, the chairman of the board of directors for the Saudi Commission for Tourism and National Heritage, of course on the sidelines of her participation at the Arabian travel market in Dubai. The meeting did discuss boosting tourism cooperation between both Egypt and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, along with a joint tourism promotion to increase the Arab tourism traffic between the two countries. Here's the story.
Tourism Minister Rani al-Mashat held a meeting with the head of the Saudi Board of Tourism and National Heritage, Ahmed bin Aqil al-Khatib, to discuss ways to boost cooperation in tourism between the two countries. The meeting came on the sidelines of the Arabian Travel Market ATM Forum, which kicked off in Dubai on Sunday and ends on Wednesday. The 26th edition of the ATM hosts over 2,500 exhibiting companies and an expected 40,000 industry professionals, with over 150 countries represented, as well as 65 national pavilions. The minister accompanied by the Saudi official to a tour on the Egyptian pavilion, during which he expressed his admiration at the new technology and promotional methods it highlighted. Al-Mashat stressed the importance of the Arab market for Egyptian tourism, saying it makes up about 30% of tourists coming to the country. Meanwhile, Al-Khatib expressed his country's keenness on benefiting from Egyptian expertise in promoting various forms of tourism, such as cultural and adventure tourism, which Saudi Arabia has started to promote recently. The Saudi tourism official also cited the possibility of cooperation to attract more tourists to the Arab region through joint tourism programs between Egypt and Saudi Arabia, in light of the Arab tourism strategy, which was commissioned by the Arab Ministerial Council for Tourism during the 45th meeting of the Middle East Committee of the Arab Tourism Organization, held in Cairo in March.
مصر قلب العالم، أصل الجمال، منارة العلم، هبة النيل، الفن والثقافة، فتحت أبواب المعرفة والعلم للعالم. مصر أنجزت في وقت قياسي مشروعات أثرية بقيمة 3 مليار و500 مليون جنيه. وشرفت على الانتهاء من المتحف المصري الكبير بتكلفة وصلت ل21 مليار جنيه، المتحف اللي هيكون درة المتاحف حول العالم وأكبرها. مصر أنشأت 4 مدن شاطئية جديدة بمواصفات تخليها تنافس إقليميا وعالميا، مش مجرد مصايف إنما مراكز لريادة المال والأعمال على المستويين العالمي والإقليمي. وتضاعفت الاكتشافات الأثرية، اتسعت مجالات التطوير لتشمل السياحة العلاجية والنيلية والدينية والثقافية. مصر كنز من الآثار الضخمة والمغامرة والجمال. مصر كنز مفتاحه في ايدك، زورها واكتشفها. هي التاريخ والحضارة والطبيعة المبهرة، هي ليالي الشرق الجميلة الساحرة. مصر التحدي والإنجاز.
And on a lighter note, into the world of sports, and Mohamed Salah selected for the Premier League's team of work, according to the BBC. The British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, has featured Mohamed Salah as part of the Premier League's team of the week on Monday. The team included goalkeeper Sergio Reco, the defender Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool, and Andrew Robertson also from Liverpool. Now, the team's midfielder included Eden Hazard, Chelsea. Forwards included Salah from Liverpool, Sergio Aguero from Manchester City, and Sadio Mane, who's from Liverpool. Now, Salah scored 2 goals, assisted a 3rd goal to help Liverpool beat Huddersfield Town 5-0 on Friday in the 36th round of the Premier League. Now, he also leads the league's top scorer with 21 goals, 1 goal ahead of Senegal's Sadio Mane and Manchester City's Sergio Aguero. Regarding the tickets of the Cup of Nations expected to take place here in Egypt in June, tickets for this summer's 2019 African Cup of Nations that are hosted by Egypt will start from £100 up until £2,500. The head of the tournament's ticket subcommittee, Amr al-Bortoghali, said in a press release that the prices were fixed in coordination with the Confederation of the African Football, CAF, to attract fans from all over the continent, and said that they are in line with prices at the previous tournaments. Ticket prices for the games that don't include Egypt will be available at 3 levels: £100, £300 and £500. Now, tickets for Egypt matches will be available at 4 different prices: £200, £400, £600 and £2,500 Egyptian pounds. El Portugali also said that each ticket will entitle the owner to attend 2 matches on the same day in the same stadium. And finally, music and soft kind of news. Egyptian Chinese opera stars to perform at the Cairo Opera House on May the 1st. The Cairo Opera House, headed by Mehdi Saber, is organizing a celebration with the participation of a number of opera stars in Egypt and in China. The celebration will be held at Cairo's Opera's main hall in May 1st. The classic celebration, which is directed by Hisham Al-Tali, includes notable group of the most important global sopranos, in addition to a number of international musical compositions and Chinese musical works. The ceremony ceremony comes in the context of continuous communications between Egypt and China in various fields, including artistic and cultural activities, which highlight the creation of the oldest human civilizations in history. Well, these were the latest news updates happening across Egypt for today. We will be resuming back after the break with more segments, and of course, where we're going to be discussing particularly the Labor Day here in Egypt. Stay tuned.
Remote-controlled robot jockeys lined up at a major camel racing festival in northeastern Egypt as owners came under pressure from the campaigns to stop using children riders. Organizers fielded around 20 robots, child-sized devices with whipping armed that can be triggered at a distance alongside dozens of real children as part of a trial run. God willing, in a year, there will be no human, according to jockeys, except for some adults for the sake of tradition. Owners last week's Egyptians event said that the bans had prevented them from fielding teams in golf festivals, and they hoped that the move would help them get in. Young jockeys at the event, local children mostly aged 6 to 13, defended the tradition and their participation. The camel might lean sideways, according to children who are better at riding leaning camels, so that they would straighten the route. Around 150 camels competed in 8 categories over distances from 5 to 15 kilometers and cheered on by more than 1,000 spectators.
يا بلدي وزرعك أخضر ومنادي، عيشي يا بلدي وعلمك مرفوع على يدي، عيشي واسمك في الكون ملالي، عيشي ومكانك شغال طوالي، عيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي عيشي،
تعيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
عيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
تعيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
عيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
ولدك وناسك دهب
يا بلدنا
رملك وطينك دهب
يا بلدنا، عنبك وبلحك دهب
يا بلدنا،
قمرك وشمسك دهب
يا بلدنا،
عنبك وبلحك دهب
يا بلدنا،
قمرك وشمسك دهب يا بلدنا يا بلدنا،
تعيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
عيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
تعيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
عيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي، علي وروحي ودمي
وده بلدنا،
عرقي وفني وعلمي
وده بلدنا،
كتفي وزرعي وقلمي
وده بلدنا،
ده انت ابويا وامي يا بلدنا يا بلدنا،
تعيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي،
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 يا قلة العطشان
يا بلدنا
يا دلة الحران
يا بلدنا يا شمسة البردان
يا بلدنا،
يا جنة الإنسان
يا بلدنا،
يا شمسة البردان
يا بلدنا،
يا جنة الإنسان يا بلدنا يا بلدنا،
تعيشي يا بلدي يا بلدي تعيشي.
تعيشي
Welcome back again. You're still watching us here on Cairo Local Time, and we're going to be talking about the Labor Day today. Now, of course, Labor Day is an international day that is celebrated worldwide by all the laborers around the world on the 1st of May, which is tomorrow. But today is a special day because President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had attended the ceremony of Labor's Day in Alexandria, given a very important speech that spoke of a number of crucial points, also distributed certificate of appreciation awards to outstanding labor performances. And when we speak of labor, we really need to praise the labor who are working very hard, at least as far as we're concerned here with Egypt, especially during the past couple of years where the country was and still is overcoming burdens of economic reform programs and struggles to develop and further build itself in all its institutions to keep up, of course, with the world's economic outstanding performances. Now, we have a very interesting guest here today who's going to tell us more about the importance of this day. He himself being a businessman who's prominent in his field and who has a lot of workers and laborers under his supervision, will tell us more about the perspective. He's also traveled a lot, so definitely he knows more about different labor markets around the world. Very much delighted to have him joining us back again, Engineer Samir Riad, who is the member of the Federation of the Egyptian Industries. Thank you very much for joining us. Engineer Samir, let's talk about in general about the significance of recognizing laborers and dedicating a day to show appreciation and thankfulness to their outstanding performances and work throughout the entire year.
Well, if we talk about Egypt, 40, 50 years ago, we will find out that we were named as an agriculture nation. And definitely with the increasement of the population, and now we became 100 million people, definitely with our limited resources of water and the agriculture land, and definitely the alternative is to devote ourselves and our increasement of the population towards the industry. And to industrialize the country, it is not an easy job. It needs a lot of effort, needs a lot of thinking, a lot of strategy, the education and the improvement of the skilled workers, and all of these things is required to enable us to achieve, a product which we can compete with it in the world market and even in the local market. That's why to industrialize the country is definitely our target, and definitely a worker is playing the main role in it. And definitely today, the speech of the president, towards this, and to enhance everybody to come to the conclusion that we have to industrialize ourselves, and to the importance of improving the public sector, and all of these things. It has been, a very important issue. And definitely I appreciate always the president when he appreciated the importance of time.
Yes.
And this is something is great. And definitely industry is the main issue in the industry is time. Time is an issue which we have to look at it from different angles and to implement it in the right way to enable us to achieve a product economically, and and to compete with the other products.
Yes. Now, this year it's a special year for the laborers on many levels. First of all, the economic burdens that are on them because of the economic reform program, the strict measures for the economic reform program. And President Sisi actually did, during his speech today, thank the workers and the people of Egypt for keeping the burden of these economic reform measures. And we want to talk about it from this perspective, because it is important, not just, as you said, to consider time as an important factor to get the job done, but also along with that strict scheduling, handling the burdens of life and responsibilities economically to keep the ship going, as they say.
Yeah, I believe, Egypt is lucky that we have got the average age of the Egyptian population is young people. There is a lot of big percentage of the population of Egypt is young people, and definitely this will have the ability to get these young people and to educate them in the right direction, and to enable us to have a strong industry in different fields. And the main thing is today we have to focus on education and qualification, and to enable us to get a qualified Egyptian person who can deal with the different things. And definitely we have to identify the skill and the direction of every individual to enable him to put him in the right direction, to enable him to do a good job and to perform well.
Now, during the past couple of years, there have been a number of mega national projects which had involved thousands of employees working on double and triple shifts to get the projects done, working with the harsh time factor schedule, as you've mentioned. We've seen the new Suez Canal, we've seen the new administrative capital, and a number of other mega projects. Now, actually, according to statistics, Egyptian unemployment rate had decreased to its lowest level since 2011. Tell us a little bit more about changing the concept of labor work, and the fact of having double and triple shifts, for instance, working hand in hand on holidays and working for longer hours, and looking at productivity from a different perspective than just the number of hours, but how efficient are you working during these number of hours?
Definitely there is a lot of things has been happening now, and to to appreciate work and to appreciate that, you know, once upon a time, a person who is not working is still surviving. I don't think that is for the time being now. The survival of every individual is based that he will work, and work ethics is now has to be adopted by everybody to enable him to survive and to live and to increase the standard of living of every human being in Egypt. It is a target of our government. And I could see it in the measures which they have been putting it to enable us to appreciate everything. That means if he appreciates the light, the water, and everything is appreciated and he knows the value of it, then he will be more careful, and definitely we will minimize our wasting in a lot of direction and a lot of things, and this will reflect on our
Yes, the
lives.
importance as well, sir, of that, I mean, we've noticed that to a certain extent, that now workers don't just think of their own job task as an individual duty, but rather a collateral manifestation of that. What you do would affect me, what you do I complete, somebody else comes and takes over, and it's an ongoing collateral manifestation.
Definitely. You know, I mean, for example, if somebody needs to buy something, and he has to plan for it and to work for it to enable him to achieve it and to get it. And this is something which we may not be able to do it before, because everything was available with a cheap thing. Today there is a lot of things. It has to be, to achieve it and to get it, it has to be an additional work. It has to be improvement in the performance of everybody to enable him to get what he targeted.
Now, when you want to improve the performance of a worker, that would require continuous training and upgrading to the worker's potential, at least to keep up with the updated technology and advances in every single field. And the President on many occasions ensures on the importance of upgrading the potential of workers. Even when we sign with other countries memorandums of understandings, there's always a technical working perspective, change of expertise, if we may say. We've seen in many government institutions, at least, a new strategy in enhancing potentials of youth. We've seen the PLP program itself, which is basically training the best cadres in different institutions. Again, from your perspective as a person working in the industries for long years, what change has that made to Egypt?
Well, this is a very important issue, because at the end of the day, you are going to produce a product, and this product has to compete with other products.
Or service.
Even in the local market or in the export market. That it means if your cost is high, due that you are spending much longer hours of producing that item, that it means the cost is going to be higher, and this is not as good. That means everything it will be done to enable us to minimize the number of minutes or hours which is for the production of certain item, to enable us to minimize the cost, and this is one of the most important thing, to achieve this kind of economic ways of producing certain item to enable you to compete. This is ABC in the industry. If you are producing an item which is with higher cost, it will not have a place in the market. That is why it is very important. That's why we have to apply all the technology, all the measures, all the new things which which other countries or other factories or other people are doing, and we are getting the know-how from everywhere to enable us to achieve the target which we are looking for.
There's also on different occasions the President's support and assurance of supporting the SMEs, the small and medium entrepreneurs or enterprises, as also a means to not only reduce unemployment rate but diversify the market and give a chance for young entrepreneurs to start on the little mini project after research, of course, and then watch it grow, and that would also add a balance to the Egyptian market, which is very vast indeed. How do you see that?
I see it, I see that Egypt is in the way, to improve in a lot of ways, because we got now the message, what we are, and the strategy which is, which has to be in place now to enable us all as an individual and as a government is now, everybody has to do it hand in hand to enable us to achieve this strategy. And this is very important that we have to go and to increase the level of efficiency and to increase our production and to enable us to do a better job than what we are doing
Yeah,
right
well, the
now.
President today also mentioned a number of important, crucial points during his speech marking the ceremony of Labor Day, that took place in Alexandria. The whole point is not just to support the laborers or for the laborers to work hard and work on enhancing their potentials, but also to increase or better their living standards.
Right.
And that would not just require the laborers fulfilling their basic necessities and needs, but also work hard on taking care of their health, of their weight, which the President spoke about, of their education, their children's education, where they live, the environment, their social factors. And again, that's very important because that would reflect how healthy and advanced the society is, and that you're not just in your vicious circle of working and earning what's enough to keep you surviving, but have a future to better your living standard and your family's living standard. Again, this is sort of a new kind of ideology that the Egyptian labor mentality and culture are getting accommodated to.
We, all of us, who have to participate in the issues of the strategy of the country, and we have to work, all of us, towards it.
Yes, I apologize, we just have 1 minute to go, so if you can kindly wrap that up.
Thank you.
All right, well, unfortunately our time is up. I'm really apologizing for that, and it's always lovely, of course, talking to you. We need more time than that. Once again, we would like to wish all the laborers a very happy day. Of course, Egypt would only move forward, not only with this laborers, but every single person in this community who is contributing to not just work hard on himself, but also to better their potentials, but also make use of their time to move forward with the entire country's economic cycle. Mr. Engineer Samir Riad, member of the Federation of the Egyptian Industries, thank you.
Thank you
for joining me. And that brings us to the end of our episode of Cairo Local Time. I'm Yasmin Bakir signing off. Thank you for watching.